Hello everybody and welcome, I'm Strawberry Shoggoth and this is Dungeon Defenders 2, a free-to-play follow-up to the game Dungeon Defenders. So first, let's have a look at the options menu for this lovely little game. And we have general options with, well, some general options: profanity filter on or off, UI scaling, mouse sensitivity, and some other little things. Well, damage numbers and damage flashes and such. So, let's go to controls. We have quite a lot of controls actually, and also the option to use a controller, which is nice. And, well, everything's rebindable. It's great. Now, while it looks like there is quite a lot of controls, it's actually quite easy to get into still, because you're not using all of these controls at the same time, and some like, well, screenshotting and, well, toggle HUD. There are quite a few options that you just won't be using very often and rarely in a stressful situation. And also things like upgrade defense, cell defense, and repair defense, it will show the hotkey for when you're actually hovering over one of your turrets. Next, let's have a look at the video options, which are kind of quite important. So we have screen resolution up to 1440, which is nice. We have screen mode, the 3 standard. Graphics quality, well, you know, the usual. Texture quality, low, medium, high. Anti-aliasing up to 8. Anisotropic filtering up to 8. Detailed mesh draw distance. Yeah, from none to near. We have VSync, enable dynamic shadows, and post-processing. So, not the most vivid of video option menus, but it kind of covers what you need for this game, in my opinion. Next we have the audio options, where we have a master volume, a music volume, and an effects volume, which is always nice, because, well, if nothing else, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on if your music volume is too loud. We also have voiceover on or off. And finally, interface options. We can hide health bars, hide hotbars, we can hide a lot of things. But we're not going to, because we want to see these things. So, now, let's go back. And let's play. Now, this game is mostly online, and you can play privately, and it works fine too. It truly does, but at least when you start getting up in level, if it has taken anything from Dungeon Defenders 1, which as far as I can tell it has quite a lot, you will benefit from playing with other classes to maximize the options you have. Now, as you can see here, I'm basically getting told which mission I should be going to next, but we're gonna take a look around in town first. We have the Masked Mage here, which is basically just showing off one of the skins. Let's talk to our store owner. As I said, the game is free to play, so you have a store. Now the store sells costumes. Lots and lots of costumes. And they cost gems. Gems can be bought for real money, but I'm not going to right now, because I don't want to. But anyhow, as far as I can tell, the only thing you can really buy is costumes and yeah, some, standard free-to-play, basically speed up the process stuff. So nothing. Now, I haven't seen any option to buy real endgame power, at least not yet. Here we have the roulette. You gain tickets in your missions as drops, and you can spend them here. So let's see, you can win legendary art, some legendary stuff. You can win, well, you know, mostly fluff, but you can get some nice items, and this is how that works. It's nice to have a bit of gambling. We get some fireworks. They are not useful at all, other than obviously being fireworks. You can either spend your tickets or you can spend gold, but I would like to have my gold for other stuff. Oh, look, we got a legendary sword. Well, let's have a look at our legendary sword. It is just a side grade, really. Not really worth switching to, I think. Oh yeah, let's look at the inventory. So you start out with 4 inventory bags and a pet bag. I have currently almost nothing in them, and I have a couple of pets I got earlier from some of the missions. You can click the auto collect on or off, which basically decides if you're going to auto collect that bag. Now, at the end of each wave and each level, when you complete the wave or level and press the G key, you will auto collect any remaining loot left out on the field if you have space left in one of your auto collect bags. That's quite nice, because it means you really don't have to walk around picking up stuff, or if you want, you can leave one bag as not auto collect simply to pick up things that are important. So if you see legendary drops or epic drops or similar artifact drops, I'm not sure what they're called, you can just have a couple of spaces or an entire bag dedicated to manual pickup of the most important things. Well, what else? So yeah, we have some equipment. You have, as you can see, 7 equipment slots and a pet slot. What else? Character. So we have character info, which tells you not much since the game is still not finished. You have your stats, which you can always reset if you want. Your stats are described down here, described. Their name is here because the pictures aren't always super clear. So you have hero physical resist, hero magic resist, defense crit chance, and hero crit chance. Now this game is, well, it's a mix of a arena kill game and a tower defense. So each hero type has access to 4 different turrets you can place, but you also have 3 abilities and your self heal and your auto attack and so on. So you will build up defenses primarily, but you will also be running around and kicking ass. But let's continue. So the defense stats are defense health, defense power, defense speed, crit damage for defense, and defense range. Your hero abilities are hero crit damage, ability power, hero damage, and hero health. And you have the sphere sheet. Now, here you unlock slots as you level up, and you can put spheres into them. So this is a small slot, which is currently filled with a defense power sphere rank 1. It increases my defense power by 10. You have here a defense health sphere and a cooldown sphere. Now these are all gotten as quest rewards. Well, the ones I have so far are. And you get a choice between something focused on your defenses or focused on your hero. As you might have noticed, I'm saying defenses and not turrets. That's because not all classes actually build anything that could be described as turrets. The monk class, for example, builds auras, so the enemies can walk straight past them. They will have an effect while they're in the aura, but they're not actually physically preventing them from advancing. They might be slowed or possibly snared or similar, but they're not actually prevented from walking through. So, as you can see, I only have one hero right now because, well, this is kind of a first impression, so I'm not going to play the game for freaking ever. Now, that was a real... Oh, and you can here see our skills. The 4 to the... On the left side, bound to 1, 2, 3, and 4 are my hero skills, and the blue bar is my hero ability mana bar. On the right, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, which are my defenses. And the green bar is my energy to build defenses. Quite simple. And here in town, there are a couple of things you can run around and do. You have the tavern with some interesting people in it to talk to, and yeah, you have the carnival over there. But how about instead... Let's take an actual look at the game. So here you have the war table. As you go through the campaign, you will be unlocking more and more missions. Now, I have been playing most of it on easy, with some on normal every now and then, but I wanted to unlock as much as possible, so I did it easy mostly. And it's also easier for my power range, obviously. Here you have your... Yeah, the power range that's intended. As you can see, each map has it too, and this is based on your equipped items. So each item has a power rating, which is also how the game judges if it's an upgrade or not. So what the game thinks is an upgrade isn't always. If you're focusing on a build, on a character build that primarily relies on your defenses, then it really doesn't matter if an item gives you a ton of hero stats, because you're not really using them. Anyway, match types. We have private matches or quick matches. So we can do a quick match. Game types are campaign or free play. Oh yeah, incursion, onslaught. And then you have end game, incursion, end game, onslaught. But we're not gonna have that much fun because I really can't compete at those power levels yet. Difficulties are easy or normal. Oh, I have been invited to a party, so yeah. Let's accept the invite. Why not? We're going to play anyway. Okay, so what should we do we think? Let's go for... Yeah, let's try the ramparts and normal, why not? This might go horribly, horribly wrong, or it might not. We will see. And we're launching into the aim. As I said, it is kind of mixed by a mix of a area, well, I don't know, area brawler almost, and a tower defense. Well, not really an area brawler, but it's a turret defense where you have the pleasure of your hero running around beating the shit out of everything. So, it starts with a build phase. As you can see, my current, well, build points 0, so I have to go pick up one of the chests. I got 400 points, that's enough for some basic defenses, so let's put up some basic defenses. We have a spiked barrier that we can place because we are... Okay. Let's stay because he left. So let's put up some spiked defenses. We also want to prevent them from actually reaching the crystal core, as that's what we're defending. Now he put his defenses here, so I'm not quite sure how he intended us to protect the core properly, but whatever, we can lose if we want. So let's put down some cannons, because that's squire power. As you can see, he's summoning auras just about everywhere. And yeah, he put auras there. Let's see, where can we actually put this? No, let's not bother there in that case. Let's put it here. We put up target dummies. They are good for the area of effect damage, obviously. And yeah, let's put up some ballistas too, because, well, why not try to get some of each turret up, actually. Let's put the ballista here, and we can angle it a bit. No, let's just do it that way. And another ballista here. You know, I think I'll put a cannon in here too, just in case. The ballistas deal decent damage, but they're really, really slow firing, so we might as well do that. Now, you can also upgrade your defenses, but, well, unless you know your hero can hold his own, it might be nice to simply put up quite a lot of defenses early on and then upgrade after later waves. So I'm running out of build points, so let's start with the first wave. Now up to the right you will see that we are on wave 1 out of 6, and this wave has 136 monsters in it. You will see a minimap showing where monsters are coming from, and below that you will see how many of the map's allowed build points we have used. So there is a limit to what you can place on each map, which is kinda good, especially if you want to play with, say, a high level friend. They can't just stomp down their low level defenses everywhere, because with their stats those low level defenses will still be very brutal, so there's still a limit on what they can place. Now as you can see, we're basically running around hitting stuff. We can use some of our skills. We have a range blade attack, we have a taunt, we also have a area effect stun, and our fourth button is a self-heal. As you can see here, our training dummies are quite efficient, quite hard to get past, and quite getting beaten down. So let's start some repairing. Oh crap, it was destroyed. Now, that doesn't really matter that much, it's just the first wave. We can probably manage without it, and we can put up new defenses later on. I really should put up some barriers anyway, so not to worry, not to worry. Now this guy, however, does worry me a bit, because he's out of range for my cannons, so let's hit him a bit and push him into range. Now we reach another build phase, so let's go pick up some crystals again. As you can see, you will also see here how many monsters will be coming from each of the gates. But never mind, let's barrier a bit. Let's put one there, one here. Let's funnel the monsters. You know, let's just do it this way. Why don't we? So let's see. There we can place it. These barriers are, well, not just for blocking monsters, they will actually deal quite a decent amount of damage. Now, as you can see, we upgraded this turret and upgrade this Q. You simply press Q, get the upgrade thing, and then you upgrade something. Let's upgrade some of his auras too. You can spend your points on both your own and your party members' defenses, so you don't have to limit yourself to just upgrading your own stuff. If there is something you feel needs upgrading, just upgrade it. The auras, since they can't be attacked unlike regular defenses, have a duration that goes down as they deal damage, so they have to be repaired every now and then, or they will simply vanish. Let's put another cannon up here. I like putting cannons in places. And that's our point, so let's press G to start. Now, as you can see, only I have so far completed my build phase, so there's a countdown on the 75 seconds, I think it was, to start the game. If the rest of the party also accepts the start, the wave will start immediately. But he still has some mana left to spend, so he's gonna build a bit more. And here we go. Now, this isn't a very good setup for defense, but it shouldn't be that much of a problem at this level. The art style, as we can see, is kind of the same as the first Dungeon Defenders. Probably a bit prettier, but it's still the same art style, so it's probably a bit more a question of more resources put into the assets than a different art style. Of just assume that since there's been a bunch of years since the first game, they could make things prettier without risking, well, losing customers due to too high requirements. Now we're on wave 2, as you see, and yeah, once we get to the last wave, will quite usually contain a boss, or at least during the campaign a new type of monster, but generally some type of boss-like monster. So we have the suicide bombers. Here you can see it's a price with ticket. Let's just pick that up because I wanna. How's our turret doing? It's still quite fine. Now we have some 30 monsters left, and then there will be yet another build phase. This is basically how the game plays. Now, at higher difficulties or at higher levels, you will be finding quite large amount of waves. Well, large might be overstating it, but the waves do become larger later on. And yeah, I have to pick up points. So you might have a map with 7, 8, possibly even 10 waves, and I'm sure the end game ones will also be quite large. And as the levels grow, the number of spawns grow, the number of monsters grow. Later levels can take quite a while to get through. But yeah, it's still quite fun. If you enjoyed the first Dungeon Defender game, I would assume you will enjoy this too, because it's quite similar. Now let's upgrade that, and we're up to points. But yeah, it feels a lot like the first Dungeon Defenders, but with new levels, some updated stuff, prettier stuff, and, well, an end game built in from the start, which is kind of nice, because first Dungeon Defenders kind of had that added in DLC as the game progressed, and, well, it wasn't always completely balanced, let's say that. Some things were really, really freaking weird. Also, as they added classes, things got just more and more weird, but still. This game at least seemed to have an end game plan from the beginning, and that's nice. I kinda hope they have worked out some of the balance issues too, since those were a problem in the first Dungeon Defender games. Basically, some classes were really stupidly powerful, but still, in the end game you kind of wanted to have a good mix. Anyway, now, mostly because of things like this. I mean, it doesn't really matter if some of the defenses are super powerful or if the hero is really weak at dealing damage, if they have the right kind of defense. Because the synergy is simply... well, the class is synergized so well that even if someone can't personally deal any real damage, you still want them there just because they have a type of turret that really synergizes well with your turrets. So these barricades synergize well with almost anything, as does this spinning crazy stuff. They are great in combination with almost any other class abilities and turrets, just for, well, slowing down the advancement of the enemies and getting some nice damage out. Even if the Squire himself, at least in the first Dungeon Defender game, wasn't that impressive when it comes to his actual damage compared to classes that could blast everything from range. So let's do some upgrading. Let's do some more upgrading. That's the spirit. Not enough points. Well, then let's spend our points and build a cannon. You can never have enough cannons. Well, that one's a bit crooked, but still. This should work just fine. Now, the 4 basic classes have retained a lot from the first Dungeon Defender game, so if you're familiar with that, there probably won't be that many surprises in the early game, or, you know, as you progress. There will be more or less what you expect to find, but as I said, it's new, it's pretty, and it's free to play, so if you have spare time, you're bored but you really like the concept, then I'd suggest you could quite probably give it a try without any real reason not to. If you have a couple of friends, well, even better, because it's, let's face it, as with many games, it's a lot more fun if you can play it with a pre-made group of friends. You can, well, you can do stuff a lot more organized, and no one will get pissed off when you do the really stupid stuff. I hope. Well, not that pissed off, at least. Let's chop them down a bit. Now, on top of that, you obviously also have the item upgrades. I should have showed how it looked, but really, I haven't really found anything worth upgrading yet. But weapons have an upgrade rating which shows how many times they can be upgraded, and the upgrades would usually be used to improve the weapon, well, damage and bonuses it gives to different abilities. So there is a bit of depth, and actually getting a character that's good for the end game might take quite a long time. Let's stun these people, they're kind of annoying. But yeah. And we didn't properly check our health, so we died, but that's okay, we will revive soon. Now, if this happened early on, it could have been a problem, at least against a strong push, but in this case the defenses seem to be quite capable of taking care of most of the monsters, and we're just there to help a bit, so even if you're alone and die in that kind of situation, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Now, as you can see in the minimap, it's showing that some of the gates are spawning flying monsters, so the proper thing to do is probably to put up some more air defense in all this mess. So let's throw down some more ballistas, because the cannons can't fire against airborne targets. Really? Oh, fuck. We filled our build points. Well, doesn't really matter. Everything will work out just fine, I'm sure of it. So I'm kind of finished. Now, you might have seen the message earlier. Yeah, exactly. He switched from his monk to his wizard, which is also something you can do. If you have multiple heroes, you can switch between them when you like. However, that was apparently someone that joined, not someone that switched. But yeah, between waves you can switch between your heroes. This, at least in the first game, was quite efficient way to power level. You would bring your strongest hero to set up defenses, and then simply switch to a low level hero to just wait for the experience to roll in. Obviously, you had to have a hero with defenses sufficiently strong to kind of do all the job. Rather, choose a level where your strongest hero could do that, but still, quite an efficient way to level it. If you really just want to get a new character up a bit. Now, these dragons are really annoying, and I'm really not that great at dealing damage, because I built this character completely focusing on defense stats. And with that I mean stats for my defenses, not actually defensive stats, but rather more powerful turrets. And yeah. It looks like our defenses are holding out quite well. Now this thing is clearly about to break, so let's be slow with the repairs. That's a great thing to do. So it actually will break. But well, we'll just rebuild it later. In the meantime, all I have to do is wave this sword around a bit. And I'm sure everything works out just fine. I hope. So, door controls under attack. I kind of assumed it was a wyvern or some other flying thing that got in. Whoa. My defenses are breaking down. That's not great exactly. But, well, I'm also not alone here, so... Why am I unable to repair? Repair it! Let's see. Oh, as you can see, we have a kobold glider coming in. Now, these are basically, well, if not boss type, then elite type enemies, so they have a separate health bar showing that they're on the way. And it died. It was a suicide bomber, so I guess it kind of blew up. Never mind. One monster left. Oh, and the map helpfully shows us that it's over here. Probably something stupid that got stuck. Yeah. It despawned. That's a nice fix I really like the fact that if a monster is stuck for long enough, it will despawn. So let's see. Let's up that. Let's up that. Oh, what do we have left? Can we upgrade anything? Yeah, we could upgrade that. Okay. Now it's time for the final wave. So we have some sky stuff coming in from 2 places. As you can see, we have 71 monsters from the west dock, so it's probably a good idea to keep track of this side, because it appears most of the monsters will be coming from here. Oh, 100 additional energy. That's not bad. Let's see if we can upgrade one of these. Nope. Can we at least repair it? Nope. Oh, we used all our points. Now we have lady orcs coming in. As you can see, heavy quick melee attackers. Not the best thing to run into, actually. Oh dear lord, those things hurt a lot. So let's not run in the middle of them again. So what I will do is probably wait until they get into range and then taunt and stun them for a bit. And then we'll use our right mouse button to put up our shield, and they are still dealing tons of damage. Oh, they broke through the barrier on this side too. No, they didn't. How on earth did they get in here then? Well, I'm sure we'll know sooner or later. So this, yeah, as I said, this is the final wave. So the lady orcs, well, they're not really that much of a boss. They're more an introduction to a new enemy type, which is how it is mostly during the campaign. The bosses are, well, more or less just new enemy types. So let's stun this. Let's do everything we can to this, because let's heal ourselves. Man, is there anything here where I can stand to heal? Yeah, no. This is kind of bad. Well, this is bad. This is really bad. Let's stun again. Oh no, we also have some lag. This is one of the things I would like to complain about with the game. Oh yeah, connection to the host timeout, which is great. Really great. That's why you might want to manually loot certain things and not just wait for the auto loot in case you disconnect. Now this is actually my first disconnect since I started playing. I have, however, had a couple of well, rubber bandy situations, so lag might be a concern. Yeah, this looks good. Let's try again. But, well, in the end, I got to show you the game. So, all in all, what to say? If you like Dungeon Defenders, you will probably like Dungeon Defenders 2. If it looks interesting, it might be worth a try, because it's free to play. And as far as I can tell, you can get quite a bit without running into any paywall. I've spent a bunch of hours on it and still haven't found the paywall. As we can see, it is still in alpha, so there are some bugs to be expected. But, well, that's about what I have to say for Dungeon Defenders 2. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like it or dislike it, or subscribe if you really enjoyed it. With that, I'm Strawberry Shoggoth. Have a nice day.